Good morning, guys. It's Leslie at Inskeep Bakers. Well, I think the next project we're going to tackle is pumpkins. What do I have? Six. I have 6 pumpkins that had some sort of damage or puncture. I think that one just had a couple little spots there. But what we're gonna do is put the Instant Pots to use, even my little guy here. And so I put some water in the bottom of the pot, the trivet, the pumpkin, and I think last year I did like 15 minutes, so we'll just put it on 15. Then I have 2 sideways in this one. I love my Instant Pots. $15 on that one, and then my 8-quart I'm gonna show you guys. So I put the trivet in. It's got to have water in the bottom. It's a pressure cooker. It has to be able to make steam. And I don't know if I can get this one-handed. Ooh, without dropping it in. So you can only really get 1 in here, so we'll have 2 left after these get done. And then you lock your lid in place, set it to sealing, and program it for 15 minutes. Oh, kind of tucked back there, like I did the others. And that's how easy it is to use an Instant Pot. I mean, I think it's a 10-quart, an 8-quart. My little guy over here is a 6-quart. I use a little one to make steel cut oats for Jason and stuff for breakfast in the morning because I can program it the night before. But it's programmed, it's set. It will build up steam, pressure. The pressure pin will pop up. They each have one here, here. The third, 6, no, that's a 3-quart. 10-quart, 8-quart. I bought my mom a 6-quart, and that's a 3-quart. So they will come to pressure. Once they get enough pressure, that pin pops up. Then it will start its countdown, and it'll beep when it's finished. And we are going to go ahead and release the pressure. We're not going to do a natural release on it. I'm hoping the pumpkin is not super squishy, because I want to be able to kind of get it out and peel it. I don't want it super runny because we are going to attempt pumpkin butter with that. So the rest of my peppers are sitting here. Jason ordered me some new boots the other day, and we put conditioner and kind of a water sealer and stuff on them, so I'm going to wipe those down and put them on. And kind of wear them around the house to start breaking them in. Once the pumpkins are done, I will bring you guys back to release the pressure and show you how they come out. We'll get these last 2 in. And then the recipe I found for pumpkin butter says to cook it in a pot on the stove, but we'll see how much we end up with. I may end up either getting my crock pot out or the roaster. I don't think there's going to be enough to put in the roaster, but we'll see. Okay, well, those are coming to pressure. I wiped my new boots off, so I've got those on. I thought I would show you something else I did. kind of smell funky. Yuck. When we processed the meat birds last weekend, I brought the feet in. We call them chicken paws, but brought the feet in as soon as we got done and stuck them in the dehydrator. So what did we have? I think we did like 27 birds, 27 pairs of feet. You like these, huh, Joey? You smell them? I think they stink. The dogs like them. Makes a good treat for them. And I've been meaning to show you guys, and I keep forgetting. So which one? One of them. The 8-quart is the first one that came up to pressure. That beep was just it telling me that it was ready. So when we had the bucks over at Jason's parents' neighbor, so Frank and Teresa, when we went to pick them up, she gave me her old milk pail, and she used to milk Nubians, so it's really cool. I'll have to go grab that, but she gave me that and a couple of old magazines, like goat magazines or catalogs, just to kind of look at the price difference from the 3 quarts ready. Just look at price difference on what the goat items used to be in those catalogs versus what they are now. And then Frank took me in the house to let me choose a cutting board. So Frank makes these, and I don't know, he had 5 or 6 of them out for me to choose from, and it was really hard to choose because he had some really beautiful cutting boards. I told him I don't know that I'll be able to use it because I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it. And I forgot I need to ask him what types of wood. Obviously there's 3 different types of wood here. I don't remember what he told me. I need to text her and ask her so that I can actually write it down so I can remember. But I gave it a coat of walrus oil that I made yesterday and did all of my wooden spoons and things like that. So it made me think about the fact that I hadn't shown you guys yet. So he makes all of these, and then he inlays, I don't know if I can get a good Indian head penny in it. So I thought that was really neat. That was awesome that he even offered to give me one of these. They just really appreciated having the goats there. So I told him, he told me to cut on the back side, use the back side, that way the front side stays pretty. So I'm going to set that back over here. I haven't brought myself to use it yet. So now that I oiled it yesterday, maybe I'll start using it. But, ooh, it smells like pumpkin already. Let's take a look. So, I don't know if it will show on the camera or not. Sometimes the screen on it is kind of funky. But it's counting down to 12 minutes. And kind of see the pin is up. So this one, see it's steaming. So that it's almost to pressure. Oh, there went the pin. It just popped up. So then when it's ready, it's going to go from on to counting down. I guess it's not quite ready. It'll probably beep as soon as we turn around. And then this one is at 13 minutes counting down. So we will be opening those shortly to take a look at our pumpkin. In the meantime, I'm going to start kind of getting some stuff together for the pumpkin butter. although I guess this is gonna have to cool a little bit before I can handle it. But I'll get a pan out and things like that to put the pumpkins on. Get you guys back. You guys get a fancy box to sit on so that you guys can see everything. I think there it goes. Now it's counting down. Probably, what is there? 1, 2, 4. I think we'll be able to get those on there. Set it on my fancy trivets. I love these. They're nesting trivets. They're silicone from Pampered Chef. I love my Pampered Chef stuff. So that's ready. Our pumpkin butter recipe I found on one of the Facebook pages I'm on. So it is pumpkin puree, maple syrup. It says real maple syrup, which I buy dark maple syrup by the gallon from Azure Standard. Lemon juice, pumpkin pie spice, vanilla, and a little bit of salt. So this is probably on one of my Rebel canning pages, so I don't know that pumpkin butter, we'll see how thin it is, whether it's actually an approved recipe or not, but we're gonna do it. We have to heat it, all the ingredients. Once it starts to bubble, you want to turn the lid so the steam can escape, basically, so you can cook it down a little bit, cook off some of the liquid to make more of a butter instead of a sauce. And once you cook it down, it's thickened to the desired consistency. It says we're going to jar it and leave a 1/4 inch headspace, and we're going to water bath it for 15 minutes. So that's the plan. We'll see. I don't know how long it's going to take to cook down. Like I said, whether I can get it in my crock pot. Like I said, pretty sure that the roaster is going to be too big, so I think I will finish up some dishes while those finish cooking, and then we'll come back and see what our pumpkins look like. Alright, this one beeped at me, and it's been done for about a minute. This one just got done beeping at me, and this one has 4 minutes left. We're going to do a quick release. Let that finish, the pin will drop. And do the same thing here. Let them cool a little bit, and then we'll take the pumpkin out. So the whole top is all split. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to get it out of there. Dumped most of the water out. Let's see. Guess that works. there. Whew. Probably let it cool before I mess with it too much, but hot. I wanted to cut it in half to take the seeds out. Not sure how well that's going to work with this one. I think it's going to have to cool a little bit. Forgot that one was done too. Here's one half. So the recipe calls for 4 cups of pumpkin puree. So we'll see how many times we get that recipe with these. That was one of the smallest pumpkins, and got about 2 to 3 cups. So I'm going to take the rest of them out Relax, Joe. Try to get these last two. Into the big pot. Get that started again. Relax, Joe. So I'm just going to go through, do the same thing with all the pumpkins, and then we'll come back and see what we end up with. Okay, I ended up with about 15.5 cups of pumpkin from, what did we have, 6 pumpkins I believe. So we're just going to take the recipe times 4 and say it was 16 cups. So it says that we need 2 cups of maple syrup, and I keep this jug in the freezer, and then I have a smaller container that I keep in the refrigerator. So there's 2 cups of maple syrup. And then 4 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm not really going to measure those, just going to eyeball it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably a little bit more than that. And it calls for about 4 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice, but I'm going to mix my own. Jason doesn't like as much cinnamon, so we're going to do about 5 teaspoons of ginger. I don't know that that's in normal pumpkin pie spice, but we like it. And we're going to do 1 teaspoon of clove. After this cooks down for a while and we puree it, I will probably taste it a few times just to see if we need to add anything else. Do 3 teaspoons of nutmeg. I have a feeling it's probably going to get some more clove, but I am going to add a teaspoon of allspice. And we're gonna do about 8 teaspoons of cinnamon. Like I said, once it cooks down a little bit, we will kind of test it and see. 1, 2, 6. And the recipe called for 4 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. If I did my math right, that was about 3 tablespoons. So, and then a teaspoon of salt. And 12 teaspoons of lemon juice. Now it says you're supposed to heat that in a saucepan over medium. But like I said, we're going to just do it in the crock pot. Normally I would probably turn it on high for a little while and get it really bubbling. But we are leaving in about 10 minutes to go to dinner. So I'm just going to stir this up and I will leave it on low while we're gone, and then when I come home, I'll stir it and most likely turn it up. Depending on how it cooks down, I may leave it on low overnight. Usually when I make apple butter, I will leave it on for 12 to 24 hours. Lid on. It is on low, and we'll see what it looks like when we get home. Alright, this has been cooking now for probably about 16 hours on low. I got home last night, stirred it up, and recalculated my seasonings that we added to it. And I actually added close to 6 tablespoons. So this morning I cooked up 2 more pumpkins and added 6 more cups. That's the chunks in it. We're going to let that cook down a little bit more. But we're going to add a little bit more lemon juice, maple syrup, vanilla, and salt for those 6 cups that we added. And then once these new chunks cook down a little bit more, we'll hit it with the immersion blender. So I'm going to put the lid back on, let that cook down a little bit longer. And I had about 3 extra cups of pumpkin. So I'm going to stick that in the refrigerator. Kaylee requested pumpkin pie. 3 cups is what I need to make 2 pies. Okay, well, I didn't plan on being gone as long as I was today. Joey, leave the cat alone. So this has cooked, 24, almost 27 hours now. I did hit it with the immersion blender, so it may have a few chunks in it, but it's pretty thick. It had a slight kind of, it wasn't burnt, but like it was just starting to burn. So I added, I don't know, probably about 3 cups of brown sugar. Try to kind of help counter that. It's not terrible, but I'll be honest, it's not great. I'm gonna probably can 8 or 10 jars of it. And it'll probably be something that I use like in place of applesauce and, I don't know, some sort of bread or in some sort of cooking. I don't know. We might eat it as like pumpkin butter on toast or something, but probably not as much as I'll end up using it for some sort of cooking, just because it has a little bit of that burnt flavor. So I just have my jars. It says 1/4 inch headspace, and then to water bath them for 15 minutes. So I'm just going to go through and fill all my jars, and then I should probably get my water bath canner out and get some warm water in it. But this just cooked on low, but it was still kind of bubbling around the edges. And like I said, it probably was way too long. But like I said, I didn't plan on being gone for pretty much most of the day today. So, but we got a lot accomplished. Jason got his new toolbox picked up that he ordered. We ordered a new refrigerator for here in the kitchen. And got a new round bale feeder for the cows. Theirs is all rusting and falling apart where it touches the ground. So we got a lot accomplished. Fence for the garden bought, and I think we got enough posts and all the gates, and I'm not sure, whatever we needed to do, an extra pen behind the buck pen, and like I said, a lot accomplished, but not a lot of what I planned on doing today. So okay, I have all the jars filled, and I took my rag and cleaned the rims. So we're going to go ahead and set our lids on. I did go back and kind of top a couple of them off. They were a little bit low. Now I think there's 11 jars here. I think I can only get 10 pints in a single layer on my canner. So we'll see. Whatever doesn't fit in the canner, I will just stick in the refrigerator. I definitely misjudged. I should have just got a jelly jar to put the extra in. That will go in the refrigerator. Checking how tight my lids are, or my rings. You just want them, they say finger tight, so whatever I can kind of do with a couple fingers. And find my jar lifter. My first few jars I'll be able to get in. I did put hot water in there and turned it on. It is starting to steam just a little bit, but it's not that hot. Ooh. You want the temperature of your water in your canner as close to the same temperature as what is in your jars. I'll get one more in there or not. Maybe this one. They're a little tight, but I think that will work. So I'll put this one in the fridge. Maybe I'll try to make some sort of bread or something with it. And if I can get you guys without steaming up. So when you're water bathing, you want to make sure that the water is over the tops of your jars. They say at least an inch, but I have done them where the water just covers basically the ingredients in the jar, so kind of up to the ring, depending on what is in them. But you want at least 1 inch above your jars. So once this comes to a rolling boil, we will start the timer, and I think it said 15 minutes. We'll double check it though. Well, one of my lids must not have been tight enough. It's kind of hard for you guys to tell, but got a little bit of a mess in there. That's not a shadow. It's actually brown. Something is hissing at me. Honestly, I think this needed a little more headspace than the 1/4 inch that it said, but whatever. So they processed for 15 minutes. I turned the canner off. Whoa. And, wow, they probably sat in here for 5-10 minutes to cool down a little bit. I'm just going, oh, that one was a little loose. So the two wide mouths were a little loose. We ended up with 9 jars of pumpkin butter to put on the shelf. One that was in the canner did not seal, so I put that in the refrigerator, and then we had one in that tiny partial little bit that didn't fit in the canner, so that went in the refrigerator when we put everything else in the canner. So that's it, guys. Have a good day. See you on the next one.